From time to time, in rare intervals, the Holy Ghost of discovery steps down to the earth to announce some secret which should advance mankind. It chooses the best prepared, the most meritorious, and whispers the secret to his ear. The precious knowledge comes like a flash of light. When he comprehends the hidden meaning, the chosen man sees a marvelous change. A new world is before his thrilled eyes. He feels it by each part of his body. That is a great idea. These are quotes from Nikola Tesla, known for his electrical inventions, scientific creativity, and for being a rather eccentric man. Born in 1856 in the Austro-Hungarian Empire on the stroke of midnight, Nikola had been a fragile boy, both in mind and body. His thoughts would often turn to unhappy ones of death, faith, and suspicion, probably influenced by his father, who was an Orthodox priest. He wrote in his biography of that time, "Suspicious beliefs were distracting me. I have lived in constant horror of evil spirits, of ghosts, of giant man-eaters, and of other satanic monsters of darkness." But all this changed after his 8th birthday, when he suddenly became aware of light, nature, and books, which helped distract him from his dark thoughts. He became aware of strange sensations happening to him, such as if a piece of camphor was brought near to him. He always developed a strange taste in his mouth, and his body would become hypersensitive. The same thing happened to him at the sight of a pearl, which always brought on these strange convulsions, and should a peach be brought before him, he would suddenly catch a fever. Was this a form of synesthesia? A phenomenon in people where one sensory pathway is overridden by another sensory pathway. When someone has an involuntary response to a stimulus, for example, the taste of metal in one's mouth when observing the color blue. Tesla was also prone to attacks of hallucinations, which he wrote about. Appearance of images, often accompanied by strong flashes of light. These images would seem very real to him. They were not just in his mind, but often developed into forms in front of him. He wrote, "These strong light flashes covered the scenes of real objects and simply replaced my thoughts. These images of things and scenes had the character of reality." Some of these images were of machines not yet invented. It was as if he was being given the blueprints for new technology. By looking at these visions of machines, Tesla was able to see them in their entirety. He was able to see the machines from inside out and could examine the mechanics of how these machines actually worked. He wrote, "The moment when somebody designs an imaginary device, there is a problem of transfer from raw idea to the practice. When an idea appears, I immediately begin to elaborate on it with my imagination. I change its design, improving it. I switch on the device to begin its operation in my head. For me, it does not matter whether I test my invention in the laboratory or my mind. All my inventions are developed by this method, with no exception. I think there is hardly any scientific discovery that cannot be foreseen mathematically without visualization." Tesla did wonder about his creative imagination. Many of the objects and visions were coming to him entirely out of the blue. They were not something he had necessarily been considering. He pondered on the occurrences of these visions and the effect they were having on his mental processes. His conclusion was that he was some kind of automaton of cosmic forces. Today, we might think of it as a puppet being operated by the puppet master, or like a robot who was being programmed. Sometimes these visions took him wholly out of this world and into other worlds. Every night, and sometimes during the day, when I was alone, I would start on my journeys, see new places, cities and countries, live there, meet people, make friendships and acquaintances, and however unbelievable, it is a fact that they were just as real and dear to me as those in actual life, and not one bit less intense in their manifestations. What were these worlds and cities Tesla visited? Where were they? Was he being transported to other cities on planet Earth, or was he being taken off-world to alien realms? Sadly, Tesla does not clarify where he went or who he met, but he did find that these practices interfered with his daily work. With practice and willpower, Nikola learned how to overcome these sudden visions of objects and places, but he was unable to stop the flashing lights that often plagued him. Usually when they started, it was a warning sign that a new revelation or concept was coming. These light phenomena sometimes still appear, especially when some new idea shows me unprecedented possibilities, but their intensity is relatively weak. Throughout his life, Tesla wondered where these thoughts and visions came from. He put forward the theory that the whole universe is alive, a conscious being that was able to communicate with everything in it. Nikola Tesla was a believer in a creator behind the whole of the universe, and he believed that his own creativity was not his own, that all his ideas came from outside of him, that he was just a receptor for them. He wrote, "Once I had the feeling that my brain was enveloped in flames and a little sun shines in my head. Shine on, Nikola Tesla, shine on." Let us know what you think about Tesla's visions in the comments below, and make sure to like and subscribe.